Good afternoon. This Sunday, July 25th, 2021. Unity in Harlem welcomes you to our service of songs, a reading of the Unity Daily Word for the 25th, the sharing of our affirming and inclusive I Am statement, and a restorative guided meditation. We are known on special occasions to invite a guest speaker. Today, Reverend Gregory Guice of Detroit Unity Temple will be delivering his New Thought message virtually. Towards the end of our service, we have tithes, offerings, and prayer requests. And finally, in the announcements, you will note several changes for the month of August, then followed by the in unison reciting of the prayer of protection, and then the joyful singing of the peace song. And now we will begin with Anne reading Unity's Daily Word. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Annette. Today's Daily Word for Sunday, July 25th, 2021 is journey. My life's journey begins and ends in the heart of God. I feel excitement at the beginning of a journey, thinking about the adventures, the beautiful sights, and the fascinating people I will find at my journey's end. Even as I look forward to reaching my destination, however, I remain alert, open to the adventures and insights that await discovery along the way. My faith tells me that my spiritual journey began in the heart of God, long before my human birth. In childhood, I looked outward, longing for the adventures that would become waypoints on my journey to maturity. Now I journey inward, longing for the spiritual home I never really left. I am learning that even the most ordinary day can become an opportunity to realize that the heart of God is present everywhere. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. Psalms 121, verse 8.
Isaiah 55, verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it." Unity affirmations speak to the power of our words, and particularly the power of I am. And so we say this affirmation every Sunday to affirm our divine nature. The words are on the screen, and I invite you to say them with me. I am an abundant, radiating center of God's love and light for peace, healing, and inner truth for all.
Bless me, oh Lord, bless me indeed, enlarge my territory, oh Lord, bless me indeed. I pray for increase. Bless me indeed. Increase, increase, I pray for increase. Bless me indeed. Keep your hand upon me. I know your power shall protect me. Sunshine and rain, joy and pain, God, I come to you. Enlarge my territory. Enlarge my territory. Oh Lord, bless me indeed. Bless me indeed. Keep your hand upon me. I know your power shall protect me. Sunshine and rain, sickness and pain, God, I humbly come to you. Enlarge my territory. Enlarge my territory. When I resist, Lord, give me faith. Oh, I pray for excellence, oh God. Help me to contribute, oh God. Enlarge my territory. I pray for increase. Ooh. Oh Lord, bless me in every deed I do. Bless me indeed. Bless me in faith. I pray for increase.
Thank you to Marie. We all want increase on many levels. And before I get into the meditation, I just want to offer a hello and greeting to everyone that is with us this afternoon, and welcome you here today. And a special welcome to our guest, Reverend Gregory Guice, to the family of Unity in Harlem. These are times when I wish we were in person, to feel the energy flow and to feel the touch and being with one another. But that is not the case, and fortunately, energy knows no space and no barriers, and that energy flow will be felt in spite of. And speaking of energy,
and increase. This has been a remarkable time as people who think far into the future for increase. And when I say far into the future, I'm talking about space and the ideas that people have for space and what it'll be like living, working in space, living and working on planet Earth. It is such a open and wonderful and imaginative way to think. I try to think about how they think, and it boggles the mind. But increase, we pray for increase always, for in having increase, we all grow. We are not static. And with that in mind, let us now become quiet and prepare ourselves for a certain kind of increase that will come forth through our guest today. I invite you to be comfortable where you are seated. Have nothing around you to distract you. Keep your back straight if you can. And focus on your breathing. With your eyes closed, connect with your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Follow the breath. Allow the breath to flow through your body temple, relaxing every part as you inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Think about the thoughts that keep coming across the screen of your mind. Breathe into your thoughts and exhale through them and allow them to go into the far distant place. Attach them to a balloon and let them float away. Thoughts that can be easily retrieved, and should they come back, go back to the breath I breathe in and I breathe out, focusing on the breath helps to stop other thoughts from coming in. I breathe in, I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. Think about your body, any place that might feel uncomfortable. There may be places of pain. Breathe into those places in your body and exhale slowly through them. Relax them. Just simply say, peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. And your feelings, any stress or strain or anxiety, breathe into those feelings and do the same. Exhale slowly to them and through them and let them relax. Let them relax. Breathe in more deeply. Exhale more slowly. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. And now on your own, breathe in deeply for a count of 6. And exhale for a count of 8. Again, breathe in deeply, fill your lungs for a count of 6, and then exhale slowly for a count of 8. You feel quiet. You feel still. And now go to your heart center. And as you open the door of your heart, let the Spirit flow forth. Let the Spirit flow forth. Allow it to bring forth an increase in faith. Things hoped for. Evidence of things not seen. Increase through the power of faith. Release doubt. And hold to the truth. In faith, all things are possible. See the increase in your mind's eye. See it as it ought to be. See it as you envision it to be. Faith. Present. Coming into visibility. Coming into manifestation. Increase our faith. says the Lord. Open the door to the power of love. Unconditional love. There are no blemishes. There are no conditions. Perfect love casts out darkness, fear. Increase the power of love. Be the love you want to see. Affirm the love that you are. Let only love be spoken here. I am Spirit's melody of love. I am Divine Nature's melody of love. It sings its song through me. In the quiet of the moment, feel the increase. Feel yourself becoming more of who you are meant to be. Let faith and love pour through you as you. For this is the real you. And as you come into this realization, you are lifted up. You feel good. You feel supported from within out. You feel blessed. And you prepare yourself now to return to the place where you started. You feel relaxed, restored, and renewed. You are optimistic. You are open and you are receptive. And you are ready to hear all that will come. And you are blessed. You take a deep breath and release the breath. And take another deep breath. And release the breath. And you can open your eyes. Unity in Harlem welcomes Gregory Guice again. And like all accomplished individuals, and Gregory Guice is like an accomplished person, he has a history for us to admire. And for some of us, the history that will include a ministry to people is icing on the cake. I say that because for me to enter ministry is like the ultimate in service. Any ministry is an ultimate in service to individuals. My personal introduction to Gregory was really by way of his energy. I'm not even sure I knew his name. No one can be in the presence of Reverend Guice and not get caught up in his energy that is so spirit-centered. You just feel that you want all of it yourself. It's contagious. The only response that you can have to him in conversation, individually or within a group, is yes. Yes, I agree. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll get others to do it. Yes, yes, yes. He probably had this energy most of his life. And that energy carried him through the usual steps of education. He has his bachelor's degree, and for many in Unity in Harlem who come out of teaching in college, he studied early childhood education, and he has a master's degree in clinical psychology. He has worked as a counselor, teacher, and social worker. He's been an ordained minister since 2000, and he is an honored spiritual teacher of unity principles and beliefs. And I say honored, and I use that word seriously because all of us who know Gregory Guice, we honor him. We honor knowing him, listening to him, and working with him. And I speak for myself first, but I know it's the same with others. He now serves as senior minister at Detroit Unity Temple. He has served at other centers as well and has been on the board of Unity at Unity School of Christianity. And now when you hear me speak of Unity, I will say Unity headquarters. He's active in the community in Detroit and has been in the area of crime and other issues. His campaign, Look for the Good, teaches that good is always available. How true that is. Just open your eyes and you will see the good. And certainly, this is a time, and probably there's always that time, when we can get clouded over by the challenges of the day and think there is not enough good or no good. There's always the good. Just open your eyes and see the good. I am sure we will experience that today with Gregory. We will hear the good, see the good, and say, yes, I'm going to go out and do the good. Welcome, Gregory.
Thank you for inviting me to be here with you. And I'd like to say, first of all, giving honor to God, to you, Reverend Carol Hunt, and to all your family right there at Unity in Harlem. Outstanding city, and to your fabulous community there. And I have to say, your words and your meditation centered me. And I'd like to say, truly, I am honored to be here. And there is so much I would like to say. And I'm just honored to be at the seat. The very chair that I sit in Detroit Unity Temple was the very chair that Eric Butterworth sat in, the very desk that he had. So before I begin this wonderful discussion that talks about the face of nonviolence, I just like to center myself. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Show me thy ways, O Lord, and teach me thy path, and lead me in thy truth, and teach me. For thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. I have to first give honor to God, who is the head of my life. And I always begin a lesson by asking God to make me an instrument, not only of your peace, but to allow my words to be your words. I would do myself wrong if I didn't just to share a little bit about myself that Reverend Carroll so deeply expressed. I sometimes consider myself, not sometimes, but a spiritual social activist because we are indeed in a time period of this world where we have to all step up right now at the rallying point of where we are in our community. I think those of you who are there in Harlem, you know that this is not a time when we should be yielding to the situations around us. We are all called to this point to be involved. As you know, the title of my talk is Blessed Are the Peacemakers. And there's a reason that we have to do that because we are standing in a world where we must ask the question, are we going to stand by and watch what's taking place? And when Reverend Hunt asked me, and she shared with me that her theme was the face of nonviolence, it echoed within me because right now my heart is heavy because I cannot sit by and continuously watch what's happening in our community. I'm not sure what's going on in Harlem, but I can tell you right now what I know is taking place in Detroit and in Chicago. The amount of violence is rising. I'm not sure if it's the epic situation taking place behind the pandemic. But I know as I came along during the 70s, we were pushing to stop the violence within our community. As a former member of the Black Panther Party, as a former member of SCLC, as a member that was raised during that time period of listening to the words of Dr. King and others, I knew that we had to be a part of what was taking place in the community. So when I chose the title, Blessed Are the Peacemakers, we're in a world where our children and ourselves are faced with the greatest challenges yet. But my heart and my mind goes back to the words of what Dr. King described as the blessed community or the beloved community. When Dr. King put those words together, the beloved community, he saw a global vision in which all people can share in the wealth of the earth. In the beloved community, poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because the international standards of human decency will not allow it. Racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will be replaced by an all-inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. In the beloved community that Dr. King saw, he knew that there would be those around him, and international dispute will not be resolved for peaceful conflict and resolution and reconciliation of adversaries instead of military power. He knew that love and trust will triumph over fear and hatred. Peace with justice will prevail over war and military conflict. Dr. King, beloved community, was not devoid of interpersonal group or international conflict. Instead, he recognized that conflict was an inevitable part of human experience, but he believed that conflict could be resolved peacefully and that there would be adversaries could be reconciled through a mutual determined and committed to nonviolence. No conflict, he believed, needed to erupt in violence, and all conflicts in the beloved community, he felt, should end with a moment of us coming together, cooperating together in a spirit of friendship and goodwill. And yet we are facing violence, a pandemic that is breaking out in our own communities. It saddens me when I see how violence is taking place in our neighborhoods, where children are being shot and killed, innocent lives taken, our beloved community. The beloved community is a term that was first coined by theologian Joshua Royce early in the 20th century. And Martin Luther King Jr. used this term to describe the end state of social change for greater justice and harmony between all people. It was his goal to create a beloved community. And Dr. King, as we all know, reflected something so beautiful as he marched through our community in the 50s and 60s, committing his life so that we would understand. At that time, we had this whole idea of a civil rights movement, and he used nonviolence. He created that face of nonviolence so that we could change the structure of injustice that was being waged against us as a community. And somewhere along the line, we have to look at ourselves now, because that very idea of nonviolence is being pushed on us. And sometimes we have to put that mirror in front of ourselves and ask those questions about why violence is so strong within our own community. We have to ask and address that question. And this can only be done when we address the issues within ourselves. But we have to become that active presence of the Christ. See, now is the time when we can no longer put it aside. We can no longer walk away from the questions or make it seem as if it's someone else's job. Because there are no politicians that can rescue or determine or try to make it seem like it. I love how our peace song says that peace begins with me. We have to rise and be those individuals. If we really want to become more compassionate and a loving world, and I love that the Association of the Global New Thought also rang out and echoed these words. If we really want to become more loving and compassionate ourselves, we need a new vision of a society where our children are not being killed by the senseless violence in our own cities. We have to become those spiritual social agents. We have to become those agents of love where compassion is the high standard. You see, we can't just preach it on Sunday. We can't just talk about it as it's just a sermon that stays inside the church. We have to become social agents. That the one thing we all loved about Dr. King, he didn't leave it inside the church. He took it out into the community. And that's why he was so endeared by so many. He wasn't afraid to say about nonviolence, and he understood that love was a vibrational energy that could be channeled into a spiritual social action amongst all of us. He saw that he could move this energy where negative, fearful, and angry thoughts would no longer be fueled by rhetoric. He understood. See, he understood that we could become a peacemaker. The rest recognize what it means, what this is all about. Blessed are the peacemakers. You see, a peacemaker is one who has the ability to say peace to the turbulent waves of thought and have them obey. A peacemaker is one who reduces to peace and harmony all thoughts of strife and anger and retaliation in his own mind. The ability to say peace to thoughts and have them obey entitles man to a sonship of the Most High. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons and daughters of God. Do you know that right now, all of us are called by God from the moment we were conceived to be an active part of change. Right now, we are here on this plane to change the course of history. And you don't know it, may not know it, but we are here as metaphysical agents to make a difference. Today we are challenged, and there's a need for us all to become peacemakers, to take on this idea as the face of nonviolence. You see, no matter who you are, no matter what we see, we can link up and create a vibrational frequency shift and change. Because what's the only thing stopping us is that violence, that energy that's out there. Dr. King once says that hate can't change hate. It takes love to change that energy. And when you are a peacemaker, you have the ability to orchestrate that. And where two or more are gathered together, that energy becomes increased by a multiple manner. two individuals can go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. But we have to be willing to work together. I tell you right now, there's a call to action going out for peacemakers. And too much is going on. I was reading something by the Children's Defense Fund. I know many of you who are listening to me right now, watching this telecast, know that this organization that was founded by Marianne Wright Edelman put this organization together, and they put out this information about state of concern. And he said that a number of our children of color are incarcerated in the juvenile justice and criminal justice system, placing them at risk of physical and psychological harm. And they state this information about what is taking place. They said that Black youth of less than 15% of the total youth population, that 52% of our youth are prosecuted in adult criminal court. In 2018, Black youth are 9 times more likely than white youth to receive an adult prison sentence. They talked about gun violence, and they shared this information with us. They stated that every day in America, 2 mothers die from complications of childbirth, that 5 children are killed by abuse or neglect, that 8 children of teens die by suicide, that 9 children of teens are killed with a gun every day in America, that 20 children or teens die from accident, that 46 children or teens are injured with a gun every day, that 121 children are arrested for violent crimes every day in America, that 223 children are arrested for drug crimes every day in America, and that 514 public school students are corporally punished every day in America, and that 1,541 babies are born in poverty every day in America, and that 1,909 children are arrested every day in America, that 2,906 children or high school drop out every day in America, 14,000 children are in school are suspended every day in America. If we are peacemakers, we have to begin to become principles of spiritual activism in order to create this beloved community. Somewhere along the line, all of this are falling on our shoulders. And we have to recognize that in order to create this beloved community, nothing's going to change until we become active to make a difference spiritually. God bless with Dr. King, Mahatma Gandhi, to be able to utilize that soul force within themselves to send out a vibrational energy to change the conscious awareness around us. Nothing is going to change unless we are going to gather together to send out a frequency of change. I appreciate what was called spiritual activism, a term that was pioneered by the Association of Global New Thought and like-minded organizations. They describe individuals who are spiritually based, but also believe that we need to take action in the world to create positive change. And they gave us these steps that will assist us to help make this world change. And I'd like to read some of these steps that would not only help us become this energy, as Dr. King says, to create a beloved community, but also to become peacemakers, to be those blessed peacemakers in our society. Because our youth are looking for us, those of us who are new thought leaders, those of us who are educators, those of us who are teachers, parents, community leaders. One of the things they point out is love those with whom we are in conflict as one of the first principles of spiritual social activism. I'm going to say that again. Love those with whom we are in conflict because that energy goes forward. They describe this. This is a real challenge for most of us. And Jesus said, love your enemy as yourself and love your enemy. But how do we love individuals with whom we are in conflict? First, we need to love, forgive, and accept ourselves before we feel good enough to love our neighbors and our enemies. We can fill our consciousness with love. A mind full of love cannot hold fear and anger at the same time. And he goes on to say, perform a loving act towards an adversary and continue to love with compassion. Remember that movement, random acts of kindness? When you do that, you send out a frequency of love that goes forward. And then it says, number 2, it spoke about that we are spiritual beings. See the image of God in everyone, in you, in myself. Sometimes we'll say, namaste. You have to begin to see God in each and everyone around you. I behold the Christ in you. When we do that, you begin to see that presence of God. I'm telling you, that is a must. How can you hate someone when you see that presence of God in them? They may not know, see the challenges. A lot of individuals do not understand who they are. And if we can help them to understand that one thought, that they too are a child of God, because that presence of God that's in you is also in them. Because if you don't see it in them, you're blocking out that same light in yourself. You're putting a shade over yourself. 3, know this, that we are all connected and a part of the same web of life. The earth belongs to all of us and to our unborn children. 4, we can pray. Prayer is powerful and effective and should precede all actions. We pray for ourselves for strength, patience, and intelligence to do this work and for guidance and wisdom and to do the right thing as we walk on this path. We pray for each other, our leaders, our nations, and all life and the planet. And I say that because right now across this earth, for what's taking place on the West Coast, the fires, the storms, our planet right now is calling out to us. This earth, Mother Earth, is crying out to all of us to hear her cries, to hear the fact that right now more than ever before, that we can no longer neglect this planet Earth. And she's saying, hear my prayers. And as spiritual beings, we can no longer neglect this earth. And 5, we are conscious beings and are part of a collective universal consciousness. As such, our positive thoughts as peacemakers and intentions can have a beneficial impact on all forms of life. You have to understand that our Father, who art in heaven, we are connected to the greatest part of the universe. As far as you can imagine, our Father is that collective, omnipotent presence that extends itself to the farthest galactical system. And we are one with that divine presence. 6, we have to shift our motivation for action and anger to love. 7, be aware of any negative thinking on our part. As I say, be aware of what you're thinking. Marianne Williamson says, we have been given the power to transform the world through our capacity to change how we think about the world. We can transform our consciousness by lifting our thoughts out of fear, anger, and negativity by affirming the highest God-given qualities and virtue for ourselves. Remember that the vibrational energy that you have is affecting your entire conscious awareness. 8, be willing to talk openly about love. When you talk openly about love, you are sending vibrations of love to the universe. Number 9, to promote peace as a peacemaker, we need to become peaceful ourselves. I am a peaceful thinking person. 10, develop a non-attachment to the outcome. Let thy will be done, O Lord. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. 11, let go of the need to be right and in control. It is thy Father's will. 12, when involved in a dispute, focus on the issues rather than attacking the opposition. 13, we should not isolate ourselves from the pain and suffering of the world. As we let the pain in, we become transformed, compassionate, and motivated to action, spiritual, social action. As peacemakers, we be compassionate enough to help heal the world. I love that song, Heal the World. 14, God created life and we are intelligent beings, capable of creative genius. We can co-create with God a better future, but we have to see that future. See it, believe it, know it, and claim it. 15, peaceful, nonviolent, direct action is an appropriate way to demonstrate our protest to harmful, unjust laws or practices. And finally, number 16, we are all one with God, each other, and all life. I began by saying this was developed through the Association of Global New Thought. I want to give credit to that by Lynn Twist of San Francisco. But it's something that is very important. And as I move towards the closure of this, I want to take these words right here and share them with you. There was a daily word taken once that says, when you discover that everyone is contained in you and you are contained in everyone, you have realized the unity of life, which is the divine ground of existence. When you are not just, then you are not just a person, you have become a beneficial force. Wherever you go, wherever you live, those around you will benefit from your life. Even one unassuming man or woman in a community has the courage to lead a nonviolent life. She will make her contribution, and she will slowly inspire others to make the same contribution, because human nature responds to such an example. When we can say, whatever comes, we will not be afraid, because the divine self is within us, then this resoluteness and faith will enable us to work free from tension, agitation, fear of defeat. The person who works in this way is at peace, because he or she is not anxious about results. And together we can light a candle and make a commitment to accept the courage to living a life nonviolently. And finally, let us make an affirmation to practice today and say this with me. I will meditate on and remember that each being has their own soul metaphor. Today, I will remember that I will make me a moment to live my path to nonviolence, and I always know, let peace begin with me. Thank you. Unity of Harlem, for inviting me here today. Thank you, Reverend Carol. Thank each and every one of you. And always know that each of us can become the face of nonviolence, and all of us can become a peacemaker and bless one another. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Gregory Guice. I would hope that everyone is saying yes. Yes to everything that the Reverend has shared with us this afternoon. And though we cannot hear one another, we would normally take time to applaud a speaker. So that's what I want us to do now. Right where you are, send your applause and let that energy flow from you through the walls of your home out into the ether, and let Reverend Guice know that what he said to us is what we needed to hear and to affirm. And so much, so needed in this day and time. You have blessed us with your presence and your words. And one other thing I would like to say, that as you listen to Reverend Guice, this is the energy and was that an applause, Bob? This is the energy that you feel and sense that comes from him. I serve with him, and he is like the titular leader of a conference that is being planned and and led by people of African descent that's going to be held on the grounds of Unity in August of 2022 with the grand title of Celebrating Our Soul. And I say he's the titular head because his energy for everybody and support of everyone truly comes from this place of love and acceptance and peacefulness for everyone as we struggle to get along and understand each other. His voice is the voice of already understanding and getting along. So your words today of being a peacemaker, beginning with ourselves from within, is the truth. And then taking what we practice into our lives and our world for social, spiritual activism. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to move into a short prayer request and tithes and offering. As we take a moment to become quiet with a grateful heart and thankfulness for what we have experienced, we say thank you in terms of our own lives and what we see to be, seek to be, and become more of what we as spiritual beings ought to be. We give thanks for this moment, for the words that we have heard, and we see ourselves taking them into our heart and life right now to be the peacemaker that we have been called to be. We say yes to this. We say thank you. And now we think about the gift that we would share right now with Unity in Harlem. We see our gift before us, ever so grateful to the Spirit within us that called us to give. For we know that as in giving we receive. It is one experience, being in the flow of giving and receiving. As we give, so we receive. And this support that comes to Unity in Harlem, as it is received, we too give in the same attitude of the flow. As we carefully and prayerfully use your resources in our as a responsibility and sharing it in the things that we must do. And the resources continue. The flow never stops. and it blesses all that it touches. Returns to you, returns to others, and returns to unity in Harlem. We give thanks and we offer these words. I will say them first, and then you can repeat them after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Shall we know it together? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. So be it.
And now for the announcements. Sunday. Please join us today immediately after this service for fellowship on Zoom or by phone. Zoom's ID is 698-428-2725, or by phone, the number is 929-205-6099, with an ID of 698-428-2725, and the passcode of 777-7777. Monday's meditations will continue for this Monday's week, July 25th to July 31st, and will be in recess during August. The number is 712-770-4169. So look for it to resume in September. Tuesday's virtual study group will be in recess during August, to resume in September with the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsitt. Please consider joining us. Friday, our virtual Friday prayer circle will be in recess during August, to resume in September. Please come to this helpful gathering. Unity in Harlem's Gospelgram is featured on Unity in Harlem's Facebook page. Join us next Sunday, Sunday, August 1st, when Reverend Marian Gambardella's title talk will be Still and Know. This ends the announcements. And Marie will now lead us to sing our popular song, More Than Enough. Enjoy. And thank you, Marie.
There is more than enough in the universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see. And all that will ever be is your infinite love, infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough. There is more than enough in the universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see. And all there will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough. More. No lack, no doubt. More than enough, more than enough on a planet of sacred design. More than enough.
More than enough. Thank you. We will now have our prayer protection and then have our peace song. Everybody knows how to get into the Zoom. And Gregory, I hope you're able to join us for a little while.
May not be able to stay long. I got grandchildren I have to go to.
All right.
They have a brunch. They were patient with me.
Oh, all right. That comes first. Absolutely. All right. So, shall we have our prayer of protection? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Okay. Are we ready to sing? You're going to help us out by...
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yay. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Blessings to everyone, and see you on the Zoom connection in a few moments.
Okay.